On the news tonight, President Bola Tinubu to depart Nigeria for G20 business conference in India. Federal government allays fears of electricity prepaid meter users over facility upgrade. Also, presidential election petition court to deliver judgment on Wednesday. Good evening and welcome to NTA Ijebu News at 7. I'm Morodua Egona, and here are the details of the news. President Bola Tinubu will depart Abuja to attend G20 Business Summit in New Delhi, India.
On the special invitation of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. On the sidelines of the summit, the president will participate and deliver keynote addresses at both the Nigeria-India Presidential Roundtable and the Nigeria-India Business Conference, to be attended by leading India and Nigerian industrialists and senior government officials from both countries. President Tinubu aims to leverage on this information to attract global capital and promote increased foreign direct investments in key labor-intensive sectors of Nigeria's economy for job creation and revenue expansion, highlighting Nigeria's potential as an investment destination, specifically outlining government's cross-sectoral reforms. The president's itinerary will also feature bilateral meetings with world leaders from 4 different continents.
The Ministry of Solid Materials is poised to set up what is called the Nigerian Mining Corporation (NSMC), pursuant to the realization of the economic initiatives by President Bola Tinubu to revamp the economy and boost its contribution to the Nigerian's gross domestic product. Charles Alpha reports that this is part of a 7-point transformation agenda rolled out to reposition the sector by Minister Dele Alake.
Reports show that the Nigerian mining sector contributed only a fraction of about 4 to 6% of the GDP in the 60s and 70s, with solid minerals import rising from over 23 to about 43 billion naira of iron ore and calcium sulfate between 2021 and 2022. Presently, its contribution to the gross domestic product stands at 2%. The sector is, however, adjudged the next big gold mine for Nigeria if fully tapped. The Minister of Solid Minerals, Dele Alake, in an attempt to rewrite this story and make the sector attractive for foreign investors, rolled out a 7-point transformation agenda to include the establishment of the Nigeria Solid Mineral Corporation, open a joint venture with multinationals, and have adequate data of specific priority minerals. Others are issuance of a 30-day grace for illegal miners to join artisanal cooperative, establishment of a mine surveillance task force and police, mineral processing centers in 6 areas to focus on value-added products, as well as embark on intensive review of mining licensing.
If we do not deliberately diversify the economy away from oil into non-oil exports, Nigeria will be in dire straits.
The minister believes the sector has been plagued by lots of challenges over the years and remain confident the ministry will deliver on the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu.
So today, this press conference is to further that initiative, that fundamental economic initiative of President Bola Tinubu, in revamping it, rejuvenating it, reinvigorating it into becoming the next most significant contributor to the gross domestic product.
Nigeria has about 44 mineral deposits across 500 locations, capable of improving the lots of Nigerians and boosting the economy. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
The New Hope initiative by Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, is fast gaining in Osun State. This is following the empowerment and education of local farmers, especially women, on how to grow the nation's economy. Annie Daniels has the details.
Gathered in this hall are wives of Osun State Local Government Area Council Chairman. They have come to partake of the milk of kindness of wife of Nigeria's President, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, whose dream is to see women contribute their quota to nation building. Her message to these grassroots women was delivered by wife of the Osun State Governor, Titilola Adeleke. Health, education, and agriculture are among areas of interest by the First Lady.
We mothers, we need to watch where our environment is short. So maybe they've gone round to give the net, but I will still come to the local government. But I want you, those that have received the net, please sleep under it so that you won't be infected with malaria parasites.
The wives of this local government chairman, they should go back to their various local governments, their various communities, and encourage women to go into agriculture. Also, in the area of education, she has allotted some money to be given to students as free money for them, scholarship money.
She's ready to give us fertilizer. She's ready to give us loan.
Matching words with action, farmers in Osun State are sure they will contribute to the growth of the nation's economy. In Osogbo, Annie Daniels.
Now to judiciary. The Presidential Election Petition Court is set to deliver its verdict on the 3 consolidated petitions challenging the declaration and return of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the winner of February 25, 2023 presidential election.
And the Chief Registrar of the Court of Appeal, Umar Mohammed Bangari, confirmed the date as Wednesday, 6th September 2023 in Abuja. Bangari, whose court is accommodating the tribunal, said that everything has been put in place to ensure hitch-free delivery of the verdicts in the 3 petitions. And the 3 consolidated petitions are the ones filed by the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Abubakar Atiku, and his counterpart in the Labour Party, Peter Obi, as well as that of Allied People's Movement, APM. Bangari hinted that adequate security has been put in place and that only the invited members of the public or political parties and the general public would be allowed into the courtroom to avoid congestion and security breaches. The court says the live telecast of the verdicts will be allowed.
Enshrining democratic principles as well as upholding the rule of law and good governance are necessary to upturn the state of reimagined coups of the African continent. Guest on Good Morning Nigeria, who gave this position, reiterates that sovereignty of the people in determining their leaders must remain sacrosanct. Lydia Sampson reports.
The sit-tight attitude of some African leaders without commensurate development, in addition to continuously tinkering with the constitution of their countries for selfish purposes, leaves citizens languishing in poverty. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria say the trend is contributing to the resurgence of coups in the continent. This, they say, must be addressed with politicians matching pronouncement with actions to sustain democratic gains.
How good is what we are practicing? Is it okay, good? Is it not necessary that those who give us aids should also ask us, what are you doing with what we are giving to you? The democracy you are talking about, does it conform with the best tenets of democracy elsewhere in the world? Because we seem to be practicing a peculiar form of democracy.
You may have a very wonderful constitution, Kingsley, but the implementation, that is where the devil lies. It is the practitioners, politicians in particular. They are not, their disposition is what is taking us back. They are not behaving as if they are servants. They have become masters.
The guests decried what they call the alleged substitution of the people's sovereignty, with a few elites making decisions with little or no consideration for the larger society.
If the leaders have their true mind and they have the interests of the citizens at the back of their hearts, what we need is good governance. What we need is to reduce this poverty. There is so much poverty everywhere.
The African Union should be able to hold its leaders or its members accountable. Should be able to call a spade a spade. It should be able to challenge their sit-tight syndrome, as Prof has said. Should be able to come out and say, look, what you are doing in your country is not right and it's not furthering the cause of democracy.
The guests are emphatic that though military coup is not the best form of government, until the strands of Totalitarianism brought into democracy is challenged by being proactive in holding leaders accountable. Unfortunately, the continent may not have had the last of coups. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
In another development, the Nigeria Electricity Management Services Agency, NEMSA, has assured electricity consumers with prepaid meters that their purchase units will not go to waste due to the ongoing process of the meter upgrade by the electricity distribution companies.
Managing Director of NEMSA and Chief Electrical Inspector of the Federation, Aliyu Tukur Tahir, in a statement says that prepaid meters upgrading by means of token identifier rollover will not lead to loss of units, but stresses that the token identifier is in standard transfer specification compliant format that identifies the date and time of the token generation to determine if a token has already been used in a prepaid meter, and meter manufacturers will be required to change their production processes in order to cater for the new manufacturing hardware secure models.
We'll be going on a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Federal government has commenced implementation of palliatives at the state and local government levels, while modalities to meet other organized labor demands are in place. Minister of Labor and Employment Simon Lalang says the reminder has become imperative as he appeals to the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) to suspend the planned nationwide strike. Joseph Otson has the report.
It is about 2 weeks after inauguration, but before studying all briefs at the ministry, a threat of national strike is staring the Minister of Labour and Employment, Simon Lalong, in the face.
In the next few weeks, we intend to address them holistically. Consequently, I use this opportunity to reassure Nigerian workers that this government would never take them for granted.
The minister wants NLC to stay action on the planned industrial action, given that government has commenced efforts to address hardship brought about by the removal of petroleum subsidy.
We recall that on the directive of Mr. President, the federal government dispatched trucks of rice and other grains to states for immediate distribution to most vulnerable citizens, approved the disbursement of 5 billion naira to the 36 states and FCT for purchase and distribution of more palliatives and further interventions. Earlier, Mr. President had directed the purchase of CNG-powered buses and implementation of the policy for the conversion of petrol cars to gas as a way of reducing the cost of energy for transportation. In the course of the coming weeks, additional measures will be announced.
Other issues brought forward by NLC, including conflicts between the organized labor and government of Imo and Abia states, occupation of NURTW National Secretariat, demolition of structures in Abuja, and attacks on farmers in parts of the country. The minister says the current administration is ready to deploy healthy dialogue to resolve issues. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
On environment matters, residents of Owakurudu, Mayo Mayo and Makalewu communities in Ijebu, Ogun East Senatorial District have expressed anxiety over the ravaging gully in their respective communities as the gully poses threats to lives and property. Anthony Gadonu, who visited the communities, reports that some frontline houses are being submerged by the gully.
No doubt, the risks posed by gully erosion and flooding to basic infrastructure like road, houses, and farmlands, among other environmental challenges, are enormous, hence the need for prompt intervention by government at all levels. The gully erosion sites in both Owakurudu and Makalehu communities in Ijebu are products of abandoned drainage system projects in Imo State, initiated by previous administration in 2008. Narrating their ordeal, residents of Owakurudu and Mayo said the intervention work by the previous administration in 2008 was stopped, hence the abandoned erosion sites degenerated. They lamented the loss of lives and property being experienced annually as a result of flooding.
The little houses you are seeing here now, they are not safe. The people that even owns them are not even sure if by the time they come, they will still meet it. Because it has happened before, a bigger one like this just went down like that.
The river started from his house down to meet another river down there. So if they can, federal government can help us do it, we'll be happy, or state government. Because any rain that falls, nobody can pass that place again.
The same applies to residents in Makalehu, Ijebu, due to the nightmare they experienced during rainy season from the alleged diversion of erosion from Otumba Dikko Dinner Stadium to their community. They say this has posed attendance risks to both lives and property for some years now.
It was some local divers that helped us to save a child when the flood wreaked havoc then. We are not enjoying any peace. We are not praying for rain because whenever it rains, we did not have rest of mind. And many landlords have developed hypertension as a result. Government should please help us.
The residents maintained that efforts to reform the appropriate authorities like Ogun State government through SEMA, federal government through its agencies like NEMA and Office of Ecological System about the pathetic situation and the need for urgent intervention all proved abortive. They, however, appealed to concerned authorities to, as a matter of urgency, rechannel the gully to Owagbangba Canal to mitigate the impact of flooding whenever there is a downpour. In Ijebu, Anthony Gandon, NTA News.
That concludes tonight's news, but before we leave, let's take a look at our major stories once again. Earlier on, we told you that President Bola Tinubu departs Nigeria for G20 business conference in India. Also, federal government allays fear of electricity prepaid meters users over facility upgrade. Lastly, presidential election petition court to deliver judgment on Wednesday. Coming up next is the Yoruba version of the news, taken by Idowu Ogunbajo. Amuroluwa Egona. Have a good night.
Ẹ tẹ́tí sí ìròyìn ti alẹ́ tòní. Wọ̀nyí ni kókó ìròyìn tálẹ̀ tòní. Ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu yóò kúrò nílùú Àbújá lónìí láti lọ ṣe ìpàdé ní orílẹ̀-èdè India. Ilé-ẹjọ́ tó ń gbẹ́jọ́ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ awuyewuye ìdìbò ààrẹ ti ṣetán láti pe ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu níjà nípa ìdìbò tó kọjá. Ẹ káalẹ́, ẹ káàbọ̀ sí NTA Ìjẹ̀bú Òde. Ìdòwú Ògúnbàjò ní orúkọ tèmi. Ẹ gbọ́ ìròyìn náà ní ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́. Ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí Bọ́lá Tinubu yóò kúrò nílùú Àbújá lónìí lọ bá àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè ogún tí ọ̀rọ̀ ajé wọn gíríkì ṣe ìpàdé ní New Delhi ní orílẹ̀-èdè India látàrí ìwé ìpè tí olórí orílẹ̀-èdè India Narendra fi ránṣẹ́ sí i. Ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu yóò máa jẹ́ agbẹnusọ níbi ìpàdé tí yóò máa wáyé ní ilẹ̀ India ní èyí tí àwọn lórúkọ àti ọ̀tọ̀kùlú ìlú káàkiri orílẹ̀-èdè ogún yóò sì péjú pésẹ̀ níbẹ̀. Lára ìpàdé wọn yìí ni yóò máa wáyé dálé lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ajé ọrọ̀ ajé tí bí ó ṣe máa gbèrú sí lágbàáyé àti bí wọ́n ṣe ṣe ìpèsè fún àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè wọn. wàyí o ìrètí àtúnṣe tí aya ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà pinlẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ìyẹn Sínátọ̀ Olúrẹ̀mí Tinubu ti gbèrú ó sì ti fẹsẹ̀ múlẹ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. eléyìí ń wáyé nígbà tí aya ààrẹ dá àwọn àgbẹ̀ alábẹ́lé pàápàá jùlọ àwọn obìnrin lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ bí wọ́n yóò ṣe máa mú ìgbèrú bá ọrọ̀ ajé ilẹ̀ yìí tí ó sì tún ró wọn lágbára nípa iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ń ṣe. àní Daniel ni ó ní ìròyìn yìí. àìlètẹ̀lé ìlànà òṣèlú tó tọ́, ìtẹ́jú òfin mọ́lẹ̀ àti àìṣe ìjọba tó tọ́ àti èyí tó péye ni àwọn ohun tó ń fà á tí àwọn ọmọ ogun fi ń gba ìjọba ní ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀. àwọn àlejò lórí ètò òwúrọ̀ wa Good Morning Nigeria sọ èyí di mímọ̀ wípé òmìnira tí orílẹ̀-èdè kọ̀ọ̀kan ní láti yan aṣíwájú fúnra wọn ó gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ohun tí wọ́n bọ̀wọ̀ fún. akọ̀ròyìn wa Lydia Samson ni ó ní ìròyìn yìí. ilé ẹjọ́ tó ń gbọ́ awuyewuye lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ìdìbò ààrẹ ti ṣetán láti dájọ́ lórí ọ̀nà mẹ́ta tó fẹsẹ̀ múlẹ̀ fún ìpèníjà bí wọ́n ṣe kéde ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu gẹ́gẹ́ bí olùborí nínú ìdìbò ààrẹ tí ó wáyé ní ọjọ́ 25 oṣù kejì ọdún 2023. ọ̀gá àgbà alákòóso ti ilé ẹjọ́ kòtẹ́milọ́rùn Umar Muhammad Bangari ni ó sọ èyí di mímọ̀ ní Àbújá. Bangari tún tẹ̀síwájú nínú ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ wípé gbogbo ètò ti tò àti wípé kò sí ewu lẹ́gbẹ̀rún ẹ̀kọ́ àfi gìrì àparò nípa ìgbẹ́jọ́ náà. àwọn ẹ̀sùn nǹkan mẹ́ta tó fẹsẹ̀ múlẹ̀ yìí ń wáyé láti ọwọ́ òǹdíje dupò ààrẹ lábẹ́ àsíá PDP Abubakar Atiku, ẹlẹ́gbẹ́ rẹ̀ tó jẹ́ òǹdíje dupò lábẹ́ àsíá Labour Party Peter Obi àti òǹdíje dupò lábẹ́ àsíá Allied People Movement APM. Bangari tún tẹ̀síwájú nínú ọ̀rọ̀ wípé wámúwámú ni àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò yóò dúró síbẹ̀ lọ́jọ́ náà àti wípé àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ tí wọ́n bá fìwé pè nìkan ni àwọn yóò gbà láyè nílé ẹjọ́ látàrí irúwá ògìrìwá tí àwọn ń yẹra fún. ilé ẹjọ́ wá jẹ́ ó di mímọ̀ wípé ààyè gba kí wọ́n ṣe fọ́nrán èyí tí àwọn èèyàn máa wò lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ bí gbogbo rẹ̀ ṣe ń lọ lágbàáyé. ìjọba àpapọ̀ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ pínpín àwọn ohun amáyédẹrùn káàkiri àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ àti ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ nígbà tí àmúṣiṣẹ́ ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ lórí ohun tí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ń fẹ́. mínísítà fún àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àti iṣẹ́ ṣíṣe nílẹ̀ yìí Lalong Simon sọ èyí di mímọ̀ wípé ohun tí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ń tẹnumọ́ nígbàkúgbà yìí dandan ni àwọn á ṣe fún wọn. ó wá rawọ́ ẹ̀bẹ̀ fún àwọn ẹgbẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́ ní Nàìjíríà kí wọ́n dákun dábọ̀ kí wọ́n dá ìfẹ̀hónú hàn tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe jákèjádò ilẹ̀ yìí dúró. Joseph Osen ni ó ní ìròyìn yìí. àwọn ọlọ́pàá ọ̀tẹlẹ̀múyẹ́ ti jẹ́ ó di mímọ̀ wípé àwọn ti ṣẹ́gi lẹ́yìn àwọn màdàrú kan ní ẹ̀ka orílẹ̀-èdè yìí tí wọ́n fẹ́ fi ìfẹ̀hónú hàn awúrújẹ dá àlàáfíà orílẹ̀-èdè yìí rú láti ba ìjọba àti àwọn ẹ̀ṣọ́ aláàbò jẹ́ nípa ségesège ọrọ̀ ajé ilẹ̀ yìí. agbẹnusọ àwọn ọlọ́pàá ọ̀tẹlẹ̀múyẹ́ jẹ́ ó di mímọ̀ wípé nípa ìwádìí fínífíní tí wọ́n ṣe ìgbésẹ̀ yìí wáyé láti ọwọ́ àwọn olóṣèlú kan tí wọ́n fẹ́ lo àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àti àwọn ọ̀dọ́ kan fún iṣẹ́ láabi tí wọ́n ṣe. nípa ìdí èyí àwọn adarí ilé ìwé gbogbo àti àwọn ọ̀gá àgbà ní ilé ìwé gíga ni wọ́n ti gbà nímọ̀ràn báyìí láti sọ fún àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọn kí wọ́n tẹ àwọn ọmọ wọn kí wọ́n tẹ ọwọ́ ọmọ wọn bọṣọ láti má bá wọn kópa nínú ohun tí ò bá ìlànà òfin mu. nígbàtí àwọn ìjọba sì ń sa gbogbo agbára wọn láti mójútó àwọn ìpèníjà tí ó ń kojú orílẹ̀-èdè, àwọn ọlọ́pàá ọ̀tẹlẹ̀múyẹ́ wá ń ṣe ìkìlọ̀ fún àwọn ẹni tí ó ń gba èyí lérò wípé kí wọ́n má dánwò nítorí pé àwọn ò ní kùnà láti fi ojú ẹnikẹ́ni tí ajé ọ̀rọ̀ yìí bá ṣí mọ́ lórí ba òfin. àwọn onímọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ nípa ìlera wọ́n ti gbé ìlànà tó tọ́ nípa ìbálòpọ̀ àti àlàyé nípa ìbálòpọ̀ láàrin àwọn àgbàlagbà jáde tí wọ́n sì jẹ́ ó di mímọ̀ wípé ìbálòpọ̀ tí wọn ò bá lo ìdáàbòbò lè yọrí sí jẹjẹrẹ látàrí àrùn tó gbòde kan tó ti abẹ́ jáde. Agbẹnusọ àwọn onímọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ nípa ìlera yìí jẹ́ ó di mímọ̀ nígbà tí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà bá wọn kópa níbi ayẹyẹ ìbálòpọ̀ àti ìlera lágbàáyé. Oníròyìn wa Serafina Okon Imekwe bá wọn níbẹ̀. Níbi ni a ó ti máa dánu dúró fún ti ìròyìn ní ti alẹ́ tòní. Ẹ má gbàgbé láti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ìkànnì wa lórí Facebook NTA Ìjẹ̀bú Òde. Ìdòwú Ògúnbàjò ní orúkọ tèmi. Ó dàárọ̀.